Hi there, I'm and this is the Apatros Review. Now in this episode we take a look at this, Paranormal Activity, the marked ones. I'll review Paranormal Activity Ghost Dimension, the original Paranormal Activity in the future, in the coming weeks. And this was a 2014 American theatrically released film, directed by Christopher Landon, who also wrote the film and pretty much wrote the Paranormal Activities 2 for 4. Now this film premiered on New Year's Day, that's the 1st of January 2014, in Belgium, Spain, France and UK. A heck of a New Year's Day present. And then on the 2nd of January of that year in Austria, Germany, Croatia and Serbia. And then on the 3rd of January in Canada, Mexico and US. And then on the 9th of January in Russia, the 23rd of January in Australia, and the 30th of January in Italy and our cousins from across the ditch, New Zealand. Now, this film was, of course, directed and written by Christopher Landon. Like I said, he directed Paranormal Activities 2, 3 and 4. And it's based on the original film by Oren Peli, who also produced the film along with Jason Blum. Now, as for the DVD, this is actually the standard issue Australian DVD, and it's got 178 anamorphic frame. It's in region 4, obviously. English 5.1 in the 448 kilobyte range. English DVS, you know, the audio subtitle crap. 7 subtitles including English, and just almost about 15 seconds short of the 81-minute mark in PAL format. Now, the only supplement on the disc is basically some found footage deleted scenes. And by the way, I should point out that the Australian DVD only has the theatrical version of the film on it. The Australian Blu-ray has both the theatrical and unrated versions. I'll talk about the differences in the future, in this review. Now, as we have seen, the Paranormal Activity franchise of found footage supernatural horror films have started out strong with Paranormal Activity and its phenomenal success at the box office, going on to making two well-regarded sequels before hitting the skids of Paranormal Activity 4, which probably marked the end of the original film's format, as by this point the concept was beginning to show its limitations in a major way. Paranormal Activity, the marked ones, was a change-up of the franchise's format, but unfortunately writer-director Christopher Landon, who had written the previous sequels, really reached the limit of his writing prowess here, as this film's storyline is just plain messed up with an attempt to make a pseudo-superhero film of sorts. When investigating the weird noises coming from his downstairs neighbor's apartment, Jesse and his friend Hector sneak one of those GoPro cameras down their air shaft, only to inadvertently film footage of a black magic ritual with the neighbor marking a naked pregnant woman, which she doesn't look pregnant, but it's later revealed that she was, with occult symbols. The next night, the neighbor is murdered. Sneaking into the apartment, Jesse and Hector notice weird symbols everywhere, and the location of those VHS tapes that formed the basis of Paranormal Activity 3. You know, the 1988 footage from VHS tapes? Then Jesse starts having weird superpowers, like super strength and levitation, as if the powers that be typed in some cheat codes for his game of life. But the reality is that Jesse has been marked from birth by the Midwives, a coven of witches who have a grand plan of building an army of the damned by marking certain families of pregnant mothers who give birth to firstborn sons who are essentially property of the devil. And then at the age of 18 they basically get taken over. Their reach stretches all over the globe, and Jesse and one of his other friends, Oscar, have been marked. Oscar was the one that killed the neighbor. He had been aware of the midwives for some time, and ends his own curse by killing himself. With the help of Allie Ray, who is basically the daughter of the family from the second film, the only survivor, who is now an expert on the occult following the murder of her parents and baby brother Hunter's abduction 6 years before, Jesse's friends realize the only way to stop the midwives is to take the fight to them, but by this point Jesse's doomed. Now, with the changed setting, this could have been a better film than Paranormal Activity 4, but ultimately winds up being equal to it as the worst films in the franchise. The marked ones, at the very least, gives us almost a full explanation of the witch coven that was revealed in Paranormal Activity 3, and now they have a name, the Midwives. Ooh, scary. As well as getting close enough to their mission life, to build an army of the damned by marking certain male children when their mothers are pregnant with them. We get another appearance from Kay Featherston, for probably the last time, and a nice little wind into the Paranormal Activity franchise by having Hector accidentally travel back in time to Katie Mika Slott's house in the original film on the final night. You know, if you watch the original Paranormal Activity, that final night when Katie goes down, screams, Michael gets up, goes down, next thing you know, all hell breaks loose. That night. Mere moments before that film's infamous final scene. Nice little twist there. So basically Hector becomes the first esse to travel back in time. Now, but other than that, this movie is very disappointing. While the actors are convincing enough for the story at hand, the story is just plain dope. I'm using the original meaning of the word here, the definition of being stupidly clumsy. The film fails to feature any appearance of Toby, the franchise's patron demon. Probably he's getting busy somewhere. But we do get to see Latino gangsters blowing away the midwives with shotguns and MP5K submachine guns, as our heroes mount an assault on the midwife's house of operations, which is basically Grandma Lois's house from Paranormal Activity 3. The assault fails since it takes more than 12-gauge buckshot 9mm bullets to stop these witches, but the time travel twist at the end is hilarious despite being clever. Now, ultimately, Paranormal Activity in the Marked Ones is a very stupid movie that fails to make its mark in the box office. Indeed, this and the next film, The Ghost Dimension, are the lowest performance in the box office, and as such remains a bad film. Although the revelation of the midwives of coven witches is a good move to finally explain what the bloody fuck is going on in this franchise's story background. So, Paranormal Activity Marked Ones earns a D, 2 out of 10. It's a bad film. Now for gore nudity. This series has never been about gore, and so the blood spilling is kept to a bare minimum. But this is the only film in the Paranormal Activity franchise to feature nudity, as a naked pregnant mother, played by Raven Roquette, an adult film star who specializes in lesbian-themed hardcore titles, is seen full frontally nude for about a minute's worth of screen time, and the fat witch is seen naked but only her fat blubber ass is visible during the ritual. And of course she doesn't look pregnant, but like early stages pregnancy. Now for the DVD. Like I said, this is a standard issue release of this film for the Australian market. Globally speaking, the DVDs are identical save for language differences, and only has a theatrical version on it, unlike the corresponding Blu-ray which contains both the theatrical and unrated versions. The unrated version contained almost 20 extra minutes of comedic material. It's basically comic relief. As usual, the print is excellent, even though there are a few cheats here due to the necessity of using high-def cameras, described as cheap $300 pawnbroker issued second-hand camcorders and GoPro devices. You can tell on the GoPro footage from the boosted sound quality. And the English 5.1 is excellent. There are plenty of subtitles featured here, so ESL speakers will be happy with that, while the menu design looks different from previous Paranormal Activity sequels by having graphics on them. And the only supplement is a series of deleted scenes that will never use in either version. About the menu design, in Paranormal Activities 2, 3, and 4, it's just basically a black background with white text. This one, it's actually a picture of that. I mean, actually, on the main menu it looks normal, but when you change it to audio options or subtitles, it changes to that side. And then on the other sub-menus, it shows that Virgin Mary statue with the defacing on it. Okay, so that's it for Paranormal Activity, the marked ones. Basically gets a D, 2 out of 10, meaning it's bad. Not terrible, just bad. And like I said before, I'm going to do Paranormal Activity Ghost Dimension and the original Paranormal Activity sometime in the coming weeks. I'm going to put a few action films or something between them. Okay, I hope you guys are staying safe. Take it easy, don't let the corona bug bite. And I don't do requests, but if you have any questions about DVDs, films in general, just hit me up in the comment section, I'll be happy to answer. Take it easy guys, and see ya.